What's going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Welcome to Cooperville Live. Excited to be here. Weekend's here. You're here. I'm here. We're all here. Matt Daniels from Royalty Health and Fitness is going to be here. Exciting Friday as we get back into the swing of things with guests on the show. Oh, man. Next week is going to be wild. Wild, I tell you. Yeah, I know I'm live. Thanks for the reminder. Love it. It's going to be wild next week. It's going to be wild today. So whatever platform you are on right now, if you're on Facebook Live, I see we got some peeps jumping on to Facebook Live. We're also on YouTube. Search Cooperville. And on Twitch. If you're on Twitch, if you have the Twitch app, No Limit Cooper. On Twitch, we are there. We're also on Patreon. Link to our Patreon page is in notes in the comment section of all of the aforementioned platforms we are streaming live from today. So jump on board the Patreon. You'll know who's going to be here next week. It'll be crazy. It's been a crazy week this week already, but we're here. It's Friday, weekend. With some agua frio. I believe that means cold water. Not sure. If you are tuned in somewhere, if you're hanging out in any of the chats there, feel free to jump into the chat, say hi, let us know where you're watching from. We'll say hi back. And if you have any questions for Matt Daniels, anything health, fitness, supplements, routine, all the stuff, anything health related, dude's got it dialed in. Ariel's in the house. Happy Friday, Ariel. Happy Friday. Here's to the weekend. I don't know. I get that excited. There's nothing major. I think we have a dinner with some friends tonight. So that'll be fun after the show, you guys come first after the program, then the dinner thing. Man, lots of stuff going on today. It's a full moon tonight. Full moon. Anybody into that? Full moon. Wild, crazy shit happening. I believe 2:17 a.m. is when the peak of the full moon. Of course, it lasts over a couple of days, but I believe it was, check the time on here. February's full moon will be at 100% full Saturday morning at 2:17 a.m. Central Time. That would be 3:17 a.m. Eastern. And they probably already had it in Malaysia where C-Dubs is tuning in from. Just a guess. Because it's already tomorrow where they are. We're just blowing up. We're blowing up. So, full moon. Go outside. Set your alarm for 2:15. Get up. Go out. Howl at the moon. Come back inside. Go back to bed. It's an option. I'm just saying. Full moon tonight. A couple of stories to get to before we are joined by Matt Daniels here. This was interesting stuff from the Daily Mail, and just a fun story to start off the program with here today. A man has been left mortified. He is mortified after his neighbors asked him to fix his bed in an embarrassing sex note. The handwritten letter says they could hear the man and his partner while they were sharing an intimate moment. So they left him a handwritten note, which is, hey, you know what? I mean, how often do you get a handwritten note these days? Everything is via text. It's all digital. It's all on the messengers. It's on the chats. How nice would it be to get a handwritten note, even though it said this? Could you please fix your bed? The walls are very thin in this building, and we don't really want to know when you are having sex. This issue concerns a few flats. Many thanks in advance, your neighbors. I don't think I'd be mortified by that. I mean, come on. They're semi-polite about it. You know, they weren't being jerks about the whole thing. They just said, hey, fix your bed, dude. And He was mortified though. Yeah, I think dude's going to be okay. Clearly, you can tell that story came from Britain because they use the word flats. Flats. But a handwritten note. I'm saying, here's what I encourage you all to do this weekend. Just to bring it back old school. Not like old school where you need like a chisel and a hammer and you need to put something in stone. No, not that old school. Get out a piece of paper and a pen and write somebody a handwritten note this weekend. Just tell them something. Hey, I was thinking about you. Hand it to them. Slide it under their door. Bring back passing notes. I think that's what we should plan on that for this weekend. Or if you have a neighbor who's an asshole, write him a note. Tell him to fix his squeaky bed. I mean, do you. I'm just saying, bring it back. I think it'll bring out, it'll bring back some old happy thoughts, happy feelings of when we could all, coexist together. Oh, we'll get to a lot more of the news, but I do see in the green room, my buddy Matt Daniels is here. He is all ready to go. He's got the sun's out, guns out.
You know it, man. Got to. It's like 40 degrees in Chicago right now. It feels like summer.
It's same, man. Same thing here. And you guys went through the same temperature dip a couple weeks ago, and it was like below zero forever.
It was horrible, and it was so much
fun. And then 40 hits, and you're like, yeah, this is actually pretty much summer.
I was driving with my sunroof down. It was like the weirdest thing ever.
I did the same thing with the window in the Jeep. I ran through the drive-through, and I had the window down at the bank, and then I had it open like a couple blocks. I'm like, this is all right. This is okay.
Right? Not bad at all.
How you been, my friend?
Good, man. Just excited that I'm seeing tour flyers popping up left and right. I'm seeing agents going, I need bands for this date. It's making me happy.
Yeah, man. That's in a strange world that we've lived in over the last 11 plus months. It's the little things like seeing tour flyers and seeing bands post about going on a couple of dates and they're not like, it's not like ideal. Like you see some of the dates, you're like, that's a long drive between, from date A to date B, but getting out and doing shows. I mean, it's good to see. The industry needs to get some juice pumped back into it.
That is for sure. I'm looking forward to it. And we can only hope that it keeps going, forward that way as well as the spring and summer continues. But I'm just looking forward to festival season, having, venues packed again and obviously safe, but packed, and then gyms going full board as well. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. It's a good feeling.
So what's your, you've had a crazy, year. I mean, I've had you on the podcast before. We talked about a lot of the stuff you had going on with Royalty Health and Fitness, which we'll get to, and hopefully, answer some people's questions here in the chat. But what's new? I mean, it seems every time I see you, you're lifting, you're setting PRs, you're lifting heavy shit, throwing weights around, it's looking like a total badass. But what's been keeping you entertained over the last, year almost?
Woo, it's been pretty crazy. It's wild to me that it almost like a year was like, man, yeah, this whole year has been crazy from before, because I think it was like March 14th when we went into lockdown. So in that time, from about a whole year, I was still with Shallow Side. We were doing some shows and stuff like that. Around, I want to say it was around May or like July. Actually, July it was. So we recorded a couple videos. Stuff just started getting really hectic on the home front. With COVID, my company, there was a lot of stuff shutting down left and right. And I mean, it was really stressful. I'm not going to lie. It was really stressful, being a business owner, trying to forecast, seeing two different areas, both not sure of the future of what's going on. Right. So it was a scary moment. I kind of had to react quick to make sure that things were okay. And then from there, originally my company, Royalty Health and Fitness, was a mobile service. It was a training app. I was able to train people, do diets and programs. And for quite a bit, I had actually wanted to open my own gym. I had opened a location back in early 2020. It opened in January of 2020. Was contracted out to open it on behalf of another business. So once that had opened, it kind of like sparked, it lit a match in me. I was like, I love it. This is freaking awesome to have a community where you're able to push what matters most and take care of your people, your clients. It's like a family. So from that moment on, it was a mission for me to try and get this place open. So from January up until when COVID hit, and then all of that madness started happening, I started doing a little bit of contracting as well. I started picking up jobs, doing remodels, just anything I could to keep, building up the funds to be able to do it. And I'm basically at the tail end here. I had a GoFundMe going for a little bit. We're just about there. I'm just waiting to sign the lease, get the keys, and let this thing fly. So I'm excited.
Well, that's tough. I mean, you're basically, one leg in one industry, one leg in the other industry, and both are probably two of the hardest hit industries of this whole pandemic. Like, I'll be in music and I'll be in gym ownership and fitness. You're like, oh, those are the two things that basically shut completely.
Yeah, I felt targeted. Like,
this whole thing is after Matt Daniels. We're going after that asshole. We're gonna get him. Like, wait a minute,
someone off in a past life or something.
You must have. I don't know what you did, but no, that's. But I think the underlying story there is, even through all of that, and challenges, even when you're not in a pandemic, to be a business owner, to start any new element of it, gym ownership. There's challenges that go alongside of it. Add in the challenge of the fact that, can we open? If we do open, do we have to have equipment spaced out? Can we only have 25% of our members, whatever that arbitrary number happens to be? I mean, a whole new layer of bullshit you have to deal with just to get this thing rolling. But kudos to you for keeping the dream alive and stuff. And it seems like on the verge of doors open and asses kicked.
Yeah, I actually, as we speak right now, I have a full warehouse full of equipment just sitting ready to go. I'm just waiting for the building, and we get delivery. Probably a light build out. I'm not, probably throw some paint up there, get it looking really nice, and then we're good to go right away. And it's actually exciting for me because the whole premise of it is it's a rock and roll gym. So all my friends, once they're able to tour again and we get some bands coming through there, a main priority of mine is giving back to the music community after all of this. So there's a few people I'm working with right now. I've done some video work for them. We'll continue to do that. I want to be able to provide services for bands to make it easier to be on the road after this devastation has happened this past year.
Right. So
they'll have a place to work out, a place to, shower, eat, have a good breakfast, get sent off with well wishes, and then just have like a second home almost, so to speak.
Well, it's super cool and super thoughtful, because knowing a lot of band guys, and when they come through town, I mean, that was really the first. I mean, everybody had had a membership, to one of the places that had like Anytime Fitness or something that had like a multitude, or Planet Fitness, anything that had. And I'm like every day you stop, every time you get into a town that has a Planet Fitness or something, you're going to stop there. They're like, we really just need a place to shower. Maybe we'll hit the treadmill a little bit, but we just want to take a shower, because it could be a couple days between stops, depending on where the band's going. But very cool to get back to another passion of yours. Is there any, you talked about spring, summer, you mentioned festivals. I mean, but is the itch there? I mean, you're looking to play. I mean, I know you got so many irons in the fire right now. Like, what's the forecast?
Music and fitness for me will always be my passion. It's hard to tell. It really is. I'm 100% for sure gonna still do music. Whether or not it's gonna include nonstop touring like it did before remains to be seen. I think there's gonna be an element of if the situation works,
right,
as far as logistics are concerned and all that. But I'm definitely going to be doing music. That is for 100% sure. I got a few buddies here who I've been talking to about getting back in the studio. I do a lot of my own video work as well, so music videos are going to be there. So it's just all in good time. I'm kind of feeling the creativity flowing through me. I have demos. I've had them for years. I've written more. Just kind of finding myself and listening to what's happening in the music industry today. Like, I believe it was today or yesterday, but Architects just put out an album, and damn, that album was killer. It is brutal. So
That's
yeah,
been cool to see. It's been nice, just strictly as a music fan, to see that a lot of artists out there have utilized, strange conditions. Let's call them that, or like really fucked up stuff, but strange conditions
yes,
to be able to get music out, to put albums together, to put EPs out, to drop singles. I mean, people have really found innovative ways, especially if you have artists that have band members that are all over the country.
yeah,
So they really found cool ways to get music out. And I like starting now and maybe for the next year, like we're going to have some really fucking awesome music that comes out because everybody's been trapped at home or in a, just going, I just need to write. And they got a whole new set of emotions because the industry, like, I can't wait till this, like the industry just gets back and rolling and all this music just smacks
yeah.
people in the face.
Yeah, and you already know, like all the festivals or venues and stuff, they've just been sitting there twiddling their thumbs, just waiting to open back up. So, like, I'm sure tons of people have tricks up their sleeve, like, bashes and parties like planned as soon as we get that green light. It's gonna be awesome. And like going off of what you said about the innovative like state of musicians, there's been so much new stuff I've seen, and like I think one of the guys that I can say who I've been a fan of has like stepped out and really, because he was one of the first guys that started doing Twitch and really getting that out there for musicians, was Ronnie Radke and Falling in Reverse.
Mm.
And then I'm seeing him. I really don't know what it is, to be honest. I've just been kind of intrigued and curious, but he's got some crazy like live streamed event going on where it's like selling tickets, like it's like a whole new thing. And there's another band, I can't really think of the name right now. But they did a music video for every single song on their album, like live, and released that as well. So tons of people have just been doing all sorts of innovative stuff and keeping their fans engaged, and I love it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I think, and it's great for the fans too, because I mean, as much as it's hurt, financially, and I mean, for those who, I mean, you blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, you put it in,
Yeah,
being in bands, the routine, the drill, and how much passion goes into that, and the live show, and that's where it all begins. Outside of being in a garage and or
yeah, yeah.
somebody's
Word off the
basement making music, but going on and performing in front of people, man, those fans though, they're starved. So that's been like kind of the thing that's pulled musicians and the fans together is the fact that, okay, we still need to have some sort of relationship. How does that work? Maybe it's a live stream show or it's acoustic stuff, even Q&As. I've seen a lot of bands that have been doing that. I've had, I had a bunch of guys that are on here. We did a Q&A with a bunch of their fans. So it's great to keep, because those fans are just going, I mean, they're clawing at the walls. I mean, you want some renovation gigs, man, find some like Rockfest fans and be like, so what do you need done? Is there some scratches on the wall? You need some holes repaired? I understand the frustration.
I got you covered.
Yeah, call Matt. He's got his irons in all the fires, man. No, it's been super cool. I got to jump on. Let's see here. Brenda Brink says, "Hi, Matt.
What's up, Brenda? How's it going?"
Hanging out in the chat. So thank you to everybody who's watching on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. As far as you go, I know last time we had spoken, and COVID throws everything off.
Oh, yeah.
Last time we had you on, you were training for the Arnold, or you were training for strongman.
It was like the show itself was the Midtown Illinois, I believe is what it was called, men's physique competition. So
Yeah,
I was gonna do men's physique, and I was training hard, like really hard, and it canceled a week before the competition because of COVID. Yeah, I was heartbroken. I was depleted. My carbs were low. I was like, barely eating and like ready to go. I was like, I've worked so freaking hard, and then everything shut down. There wasn't a single show anywhere that could go on. So at that point, it was just, how do I safely reintroduce food into my body without like really ruining everything I've worked for, as well as like, hurting my organs. Because when you get that low on body fat, you can't just go eat like 6-7 cheeseburgers a day and think that like your body's going to react okay.
Right.
So you have to like reintroduce food slowly, reintroduce water. It's like reverse dieting is what it's called. So that had canceled. And for me, the first thing I did was I started building a home gym. I need to be active. Like I'm very, when I get pent up, like locked up in a house, like I just start banging my head on walls. So I built a gym in my house and I was just working out every day. So I never really skipped a beat.
And what's that was supposed to be what? When was that? When was that scheduled? That was last year, wasn't it?
It was like late March. It was like March 23rd or 24th, I think.
Yeah, that's knowing people who have done competitions in many different, arenas, from physique to, bodybuilding. That last week is it's like as much hell as you put yourself through to get to that point. That last week when you're like basically you're taking like a tablespoon of water and like you get to like sip it all day. Like I don't understand. I think this looks good, right? Like that's like the the final push before you go on. But it's great that you figured out a way to kind of ease yourself back into health. But like, so what's it been like since then? Like, I know you're after it. I know you built the home gym, obviously. So what's a typical day like outside of the business stuff? Because I know that's got to take up a good portion of it. But what's your health routine like on a daily basis?
So right now it's actually been increasing quite a bit because I've been thinking for quite some time that I want to jump divisions. Men's physique is something where you're only showcasing your upper body, like your back, your chest, and your abs. It's like the beach body look. And then classic is your legs and upper body as well. So like you get judged on everything. Posing is included. You don't just stand there. So I've always wanted to kind of do that, but being the lanky guy I am, 6'2", like it's hard to get muscle mass when you're taller. So it took me about a good year. Like this whole year was about me putting on muscle mass, training really hard, focusing on my diet, and trying to grow my legs. So we'll see where I'm at. I don't know. I mean, I've definitely grown quite a bit as far as my legs are concerned, and I want to jump divisions into classic and compete. Hopefully this year. We'll see what happens with the gym. Like once I get the gym open, it'll be so much easier because I'll just be at work and hey, I'm gonna go, knock out 30 reps at squats while I'm checking in people. it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, so my everyday is I wake up around 5 or 6 a.m. I'll have like 10 eggs, some what is it called? It's like baby food. it's like single grain rice. Yeah, some of that stuff. Scoop of peanut butter. And then throughout the day, I eat 6 times a day. My calories are up almost at like 6,000 calories a day. Wow. And crazy enough, this is something that's been very odd for me because I do a lot of diets for a lot of people, and I've never even experienced this, but my metabolism is so high that my diet consists of almost like 50 to 60% carbs.
Wow.
And that's the only way that I can maintain weight. Like if I go lower, I start losing weight and I don't gain muscle. So chalk it up to just crazy genes. I don't know what it is, but it's been interesting to kind of battle it because for a while my weight wasn't changing. It was like really difficult to put on muscle. And it wasn't even about intensity because like when I go in the gym, I go nuts. Like I pass out, it happens. I signed a waiver, so yeah. So it wasn't intensity, and there was a lot of it that, I mean, I knew sleep was an issue because I definitely don't get any of that. But I started playing with my diet a little bit, and I started seeing changes pretty fairly quickly. My body responded, and I sort of just stuck with it. So this past year was really a lot about learning more about dieting and nutrition, but more so about myself as well, which was really cool because I think a lot of people's mental strength was tested this year. Yeah. Your friends, your family, like everybody went through it, and it was really hard on a lot of people. And I really feel like it showed how important the mental aspect of fitness is. And there's, like you can always go and look great and have abs and all that, but like the ability to feel confident with yourself, regardless of how you look or whatever, is so important. And I feel like this past year, definitely a lot of people noticed that, and musicians, people, alike, because we were all locked in with ourselves, our own minds, our own thoughts. Like we couldn't escape it. So that's another thing that was super, super crazy to learn about myself. It was really to lock in and just figure out who I am as a person, and not having all these exterior extractions or just distractions like going out to bars every night and stuff like
Right.
that. It was cool. It was definitely a challenge and scary, but made it through. And with the help of a lot of family and friends and being able to reach out to people and making sure they're okay, I'm glad that we're coming out on the tail end of it.
That was a huge, I think, part of all of this when you talked about that mental health thing and the importance of fitness and believe it or not, several things during all of this pissed me off. I know it might strike you as odd, but I'm like, how do the justification for shutting gyms down? You understand as well as anybody, just because of your field and obviously the things that you're doing with your own health and fitness, is how important that is. Not just for like people want to be healthy. Healthy people usually have fairly healthy immune systems.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big thing. So shutting the gyms down was really tough. But the opposite end of that is how many of those people who go to the gym or go out and run or go to the local pool and swim use that as like their time to kind of clear the shit, clear all the crap that gets stuck in your head, and you go, okay, well, and all of a sudden, I mean, you've probably gone into the gym and had like shit on your brain, and 15 minutes in, that's gone. And after the hour and a half, or you're probably in there for fucking 6 hours, just passing out and killing people, just throwing weights around.
Yeah.
But like after you're done, like all the shit that was bothering you, bringing you down, is it's either figured itself out or it's just completely gone because it was bullshit in the first place. But a lot of people realize like, oh, that's where all that that mental anguish and the stresses, they all go away when I'm working out, doing cardio or throwing heavy weights around, listening to heavy music or whatever your jams are. And then you get done, you're like, oh, I feel good. And then, it keeps you from like losing your shit. And I think some people lost their shit because they weren't able to do that. So it really, I think, hopefully for a lot of people, shines some light on getting out. I'm a runner. I get up every morning and I do stupid things like go running in below zero temperatures.
I've seen, man, it's crazy. I love it.
Well, it's the options are limited.
Yeah,
well, but after, like, I hate it. I mean, I don't enjoy it, especially when it's winter. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
But after I'm done, I'm like, oh man, I'm so fucking glad I did that. I feel better about life in general. And then the day can go on without hesitation. But man, I got to get these, the gyms that aren't open back up. I know there's a couple of states where they're still not. I mean, California, I think, I know they're working on getting some stuff. But my mom lives up in Northern California. They're inching their way out of lockdown.
Yeah, they were. I believe the East Coast opened back up. They're under restrictions, pretty heavy still, but I think gyms are open again over there. And they were super, super strict on the East Coast as well, like New York and stuff. So
yeah, did you read that story? There was that one gym that kept itself open and just kept like garnered like $200,000-$300,000 in fines, and it was like, we're gonna stay open. And then I think a bunch of people started to GoFundMe and help them pay their legal fees. But
there's a few actually. I mean, most of them weren't as publicized as that one, but even in my area, there was a few that battling lawsuits, getting their business licenses taken away, and all because of like a lot of fear, misunderstanding of the situation, not exactly knowing how this virus operates and what really happens. Like, I mean, I love the fact that like you can get in a packed plane that's legitimately the equivalent of shared oxygen. Like you're in a tube. So like there is no space and it's every seat is packed. Like I don't understand why like restaurants, bars, gyms have to have capacity restrictions when there's like all of this room, like where you can breathe, you can go outside, you can do whatever. But you get on an airplane, and like you can take your mask off and eat 3 inches from the person next to you. It amazes me. So a lot of confusing stuff that I've just seen. I'm no scientist, I'm no, doctor. So I can't really shed light on a lot of that, but there was just a lot of things that puzzled me. But it's good to see, stuff opening back up again and allowing people to get those, serotonin, those body chemicals going after workouts and getting back to feeling right, up here, which is like the most important part.
Right. And for folks like us who live in the northern part of the country, and there's less sunlight.
Yeah.
We're finally starting to see it in the morning. And I would get done with the show and go up, like I'd have no lights on upstairs. I'd be like, holy crap. Like it's pitch black, but so we're getting more sunlight. Some of the snow is starting to melt. That has a huge impact on people's obviously mental health too. Cause you start to go, oh, summertime. And then obviously you have the hopes that you can do the things in summer that you maybe couldn't do in 2020, fingers crossed and all that stuff. But so as you talked about your diet, you talked about, 6,000 plus calories a day. What's your supplement game like? Are you you hardcore in the supplement game? Like what I shouldn't say that. Like what is your like you have to have this, multivitamins? Are you taking
honestly,
creatine?
right now, and this is just solely, I feel like a lot of people will be able to relate with me personally a little bit more than the average bodybuilder. I'm like working most hours of the day, so getting all of the, shakes and all of that stuff in, it's just not 100% realistic, like I'm going in between houses and jobs and this and that. So I get my food in. That's the most important thing for me, is making sure I'm getting the nutrients, the calories, the stuff to power my body. And I focus on getting nutrient dense foods. I don't really do too many shakes. I don't really do too much vitamins at the moment. I try to make sure my body has enough. Like if I'm low on them, I'll eat a banana. If, I'm low on antioxidants, I throw in some blueberries. Getting like omega-3, you do your fish. So stuff like that. So I really haven't done any supplements whatsoever for quite some time now. And like my joints feel good, my body feels good. Biggest thing is just sleeping in your diet. I mean, obviously when I'm competing and I have a little bit more time once the gym opens, I'll try and get that extra 1% to 2%, which is what a lot of that is for, and see what can happen. But for right now, I've been super happy with it. So,
and it's probably a little easier for you when you are consuming that many calories, and obviously when you are, you know exactly what you're putting in your body. Like, okay, I know I'm getting my protein from this, and I know I'm getting my zinc from this, and I know if I need to add some. I mean, that's a lot of people would have a hard time getting sick. Well, I shouldn't say that. People find a way to get 6,000 calories in. However, it's probably not the 6,000 calories that they should be. But you are able to, I think, the toughest part of the standard American diet is getting in the essential things that your body needs. And I think I supplement with the things I take a multi,
right.
Right now there's, the zinc, vitamin, there's a little bit of sunshine, but vitamin D3, the important things for immune health, vitamin C, I try to, get some of that in with, citrus fruits and things like that. So, but yeah, that's, I was talking to, I have a Dr. Jay LaGuardia. He's on my show every Monday, and we just talk about random doctor stuff. And he's like, because of like soil depletion, like if you had a salad, like a spinach salad back in like 1970, you would have to have 11 spinach salads now because of the nutrients that are. I'll call you later. But it's,
right.
It's tough. And I think, you deal with a lot of people and their diets and stuff. And, obviously people having different goals and things, you are directing them into like, here, for if it's weight loss, it's this. If you're trying to gain weight, it's this. If you're 6'2", it's this, which you have to do to gain some weight, because it's tough to get those muscles to grow it all. But are you still doing diet? Are you still helping people doing diet plans and stuff like that for your clients and stuff?
Yeah. I recently started trying to be a little bit more attentive, and I used to do monthly check-ins. It was like in the middle of the month, I'd reach out, like, are you happy? What are you thinking? And I just wanted to make sure people felt like I was caring enough, checking in, and I switched it to every week. I try to get as many changes as I can throughout the month, to make sure that, people feel like somebody's watching their back, has their back, and it's rooting for them, essentially, because that's the biggest part of it, is just getting that push, getting a little positive motivation to keep fighting that good fight. So still doing all of the programs, you know, the online coaching, the motivation coaching, the diet and nutrition. And then once the gym opens, it's going to be, I'm going to really push on that as well, because we'll have the physical location, but we can also train people in any gym across the US with our app, which is really cool. So
very cool. And did you do something with D Biatch?
yeah, we were, yeah, she was doing some fitness stuff for quite a bit. D at JJO is awesome. I love her to death. She's a super cool person.
Great human. Yeah.
So yeah, we were working together for quite a bit. She's seeing some awesome results. So she posted, it was like a progress picture or something the other day, and she does a lot of dieting stuff with, I'm trying to think of the name, a company I believe up in Madison, but it's going great. Like I'm proud of her. She's been doing really good.
Very cool. And you talked about, motivating, you motivating others. Do you have people that motivate you? I mean, is it there's a ton of motivational, obviously, speakers and stuff out there. There's guys like Jocko Willink and David Goggins and Cam Hain. There's a bunch of people that are just like, they motivate you because they're like, I'm like, holy shit, these motherfuckers. I mean, like you do to me too. Like I see you lifting stuff. I'm like, I feel like instead of running today, I should pick up something heavy. But are there guys in your field for people that just inspire you, that keep you motivated in order to, help keep others motivated, or maybe inspire you? Because motivation is kind of you kind of have to self-motivate a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Motivation's like a gas tank. You're eventually going to run out, but
yeah,
as long as you establish like a habit, you're fine. As far as people who inspire me, I mean, I definitely been in a lot of Olympians, bodybuilders. There's one classic physique guy, Chris Bumstead, who I've watched for quite a bit before he was even winning. This past 2 years, he took the Olympia, which was awesome. And he's battled autoimmune diseases with his body. He's battled muscle tears and all this stuff. Like, you really see how difficult the sport is. It's not just getting huge biceps and walking up on stage. Like, it's fighting, your body's chemistry. So it's really hard. And then there was a guy from Chicago as well, who he took like 4th or 5th in men's physique last year, came back and won this year. So just the grind, like seeing the everyday consistency is really what inspires me. And like you said, I mean, anybody can be motivated on any given day, but like the people that are grinding every day for years, months to years, like those are the people who I want to surround myself with. Those are the people who, better you and your situation, your personality, all of that. Like that's the type of stuff when you're just consistently working on yourself. That's where true growth happens.
The people that don't motivate me is the ones when you post something on Instagram, you posted that you were going to come on the show, and all of a sudden the comments lit up with all the fitness bots that are in there. They're like, send pics. I'm like, what? Like, send pics. Like, I'm going to send them a picture of me and be like, surprise, bitches.
Right. In like a singlet.
Yeah. Isn't that?
It's weird. I don't get it. The second, I think they're robots, but like, yeah, it's weird. I always mess with them because I want to see if they'll respond back. Like, I'll be like, no, I'm not sending you a picture. They never do. It's no fun. But.
Yeah, I get stuff like that too. Especially when I started, doing stuff on Twitch and, all the other YouTube, and so I tagged those outlets and stuff. And all of a sudden, I got, want to do a collab? I'm like, no, I don't want to do a collab. No, I don't. And then, all right, I get, the messages that every once in a while I'll check my the messages from people that don't follow you. Like messages received, and most of the time it's a fucking disaster, as you probably know. Every once in a while, it's like not even a like formidable sentence. It's like, media social expert. I'm like, oh, you know what? I think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
Did I also win? Did I also win a King's lottery in Nigeria or something? Because I could use it.
Just put your credit information right here.
No problem. They'd be so disappointed. They'd be like, "Oh, sorry, bro." Like,
so nothing to grab.
Yeah, there's nothing to take at this point. Nothing to take. So, you talked about the gym opening up, like, in all the plans you have for 2021. Is that what if you do jump back into competition? When would be your target date to get onto a stage without a cancellation?
if we're looking right now, I believe I'm trying to get the gym open within the next couple months, hopefully.
Mhm.
Um, I would start training pretty much right away. I think like location isn't really a factor for me. Like I'll drive
Mhm.
anywhere, especially with touring. Like there's a lot of
Right.
friends I like to see. Like you can go to different states, and there's always something there. So I do know there's a few competitions happening in midsummer. There's a big one in Chicago is in October, and I
Mhm.
definitely want to get a part of that. That's like one of the biggest ones. People drive all over. Like I went as a spectator a year or two ago, and the whole
Mhm.
thing sold out. Like it was insane. Like each
Wow.
ticket was 45, $50 to watch, and the whole theater was packed out. And
Wow.
like these guys hit the stage, and they're like, they're doing their poses and stuff, and everyone's just screaming. It felt like a rock show. It was wild. That was definitely exciting, and whether or not I got a guitar in my hands or I'm on stage, posing, I definitely want to get back on stage again. So, um, I probably later this year, I would say.
Awesome, brother. Well, kudos to you. Like I said, having both feet into two arenas that were basically shut down for the for much of the pandemic. It's good to see still after it, still on your feet, still kicking ass and taking names. And Royalty Health and Fitness is where Matt is working it out, making things happen for you. You can find them on all the social medias, and I hope to see you again soon, man. Whether that's in just driving through, otherwise, if you find yourself with a guitar in your hand, I know some venues you can come play at.
That sounds amazing to me. I'm down, and dude, it's been great. We'll keep in touch for sure.
Awesome. But hey, thanks for inspiring, man. Thanks for doing what you do. I know it's therapeutic for you, and it's also therapeutic, I know, for those who follow you, for your friends, and also for all the people that are clients of Royalty Health and Fitness. Man, keep it up, man. It's good stuff. We need more good stuff, and you're the good stuff.
Oh, absolutely, man. Appreciate it. Well, thank you so much for having me too. It's been awesome catching up with you again.
Awesome, man. Take care of yourself. Have a good weekend.
See you later.
All right, brother. Matt Daniels, Royalty Health and Fitness on Cooperville Live. Follow him. Follow him on all the socials. Don't be a robot. Don't be posting weird shit in the comments. Just be like, hey, he's doing good stuff. So thanks to Matt for jumping on the show. We're going to take a short break. Be back, and we'll do more of Cooperville Live. Thank you to all who are watching. Feel free to jump in the comments on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Back in 5. And we're back on Cooperville Live. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Happy Friday. Happy weekend. Happy full moon. Full moon tonight. Spooky. Just what we need. Something to add the crazy to the already crazy. I love it. I love it. And thank you to Matt Daniels. Matt Daniels, Royalty Health and Fitness, former bassist for Shallow Sides, been in a bunch of different bands, for joining us on the program. Appreciate his time and all of his insight. 6,000 calories a day. Man, that's getting after it, man. That's getting after it. That's got to be tough. But he's a man who's driven. He's got goals. He's got priorities, doing his thing down there in Chicago. So big thanks to Matt for joining the show. We'll get him back on here. We'll get him back on. Maybe if he's doing a competition, getting set for that, and get some more insight to what he's got going on. Royalty Health and Fitness is his pages on Instagram and on Facebook as well. So search Royalty Health and Fitness. Give him a follow. I'd appreciate it. He would appreciate it. And you will appreciate it. All the good stuff on there. I love talking about aliens, maybe more than anything else. I love it. I love it. And when stories come out and they're like, they make national news, they make the big news circuit, I'm always like, you see? Didn't have to dig for that one. The good stories, you kind of got to dig for. You got to DuckDuckGo them. You can't use the Google. Got to go DuckDuckGo and get the real scoop. But an American Airlines pilot reported seeing a long cylindrical object in the New Mexico sky that came uncomfortably close to the aircraft, according to his radio transmission to an air traffic control tower. This comes from HuffPost. The encounter occurred Sunday during a flight from Cincinnati to Phoenix, according to the Federal Aviation Administration. Quote, the FBI are aware of the reported incident, the agency told the Albuquerque Journal in a statement, adding that its policy is to neither confirm nor deny investigations. That's where they get you. It's called plausible deniability. I don't know. Maybe not. Can't confirm or deny that. Quote, do you have any targets up here? End quote. The pilot asked the Albuquerque Air Route Traffic Control Center in a radio transmission shortly after noon local time. He says, we just had something go just over the top of us that, I hate to say this, looked like a long cylindrical object. Almost looked like a cruise missile type of thing moving really fast and went right over the top of us, he added. The communication was first reported and recorded by the Deep Black Horizon blog, which noted that the encounter occurred on the aircraft's flight path on the northeast corner of New Mexico. So, blogger Stephen Douglas told ABC 7 News that the incident occurred at about 37,000 feet and there was no significant military presence in the area at the time. Douglas said is an ex-military pilot told him that for the airline pilot to see the object, it must have been coming nearly head on. Imagine that. Just piled in this big fucking 737, 757, whatever. It came fast, right at them and right over them, which gave them a big enough scare they had to report it. The FAA confirmed the statement to NBC that, quote, a pilot reported seeing an object over New Mexico shortly after noon local time on Sunday. Air traffic controllers did not see any object on their radar scopes, the statement said. So, giant cylindrical object with apparently no propulsion, with no, like, big flame shooting out of the back of it. Just flying over top of a fucking airplane. In New Mexico. Roswell, anyone? New Mexico has a reputation for reported incidents involving unidentified flying objects, obviously in places such as Roswell, Socorro, and Aztec. It's amazing that this isn't like a bigger story, right? Airplane full of people, pilots flying it, giant cylindrical object flying towards him, right over the top of the airplane. You guys seeing this? We don't see anything on our radar. ET phone home, perhaps? Yeah. That's wild. Like, I feel like we're like really numb. We're really numb to the whole alien thing at this point, aren't we? Like, completely numb, perhaps. Not really willing to acknowledge the fact that, well, yeah, that whole Commander Fravor thing that came out, and the Pentagon things saying that, yeah, we confirm that there's, unidentified flying objects, and other reports coming out that, we actually have some in secret storage facilities being researched, reverse engineered. And we're like, yeah, whatever. I don't watch WandaVision. I don't care. I don't care about real aliens, man. Fuck it. It's wild to me. Just wild. And then the whole stimulus bill thing. Remember, I've talked about that. They have 180 days, or had 180 days from the time that the actual stimulus package that we got, that was signed and released, obviously with a bunch of frivolous spending. But the last page of it was, the Pentagon needs to release all documentation on UFOs and other craft not of this world. It's in the bill. They signed it. Now, as I'm sure we're all aware, just because something is in a bill that is signed doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. You'll be like, well, or they'll release it and they'll have everything will be like redacted, like, we'll just block all this stuff out and be like UFO, and then the whole page will be blocked out. Like, oh no, nothing on there. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, New Mexico gonna be a hot spot for those things. Big story today was the Saudi Crown Prince approved of the operation that killed, was it Khashoggi? That story came out actually a couple of years ago, but there was freaking documentaries made about it. This guy, the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, actually ordered this hit, was involved with it personally. And we're like, no, No, we're good. Now we're like, oh, well, now that we see the facts, actually, yes, he is. Now they're proposing sanctions against Saudi Arabia. We shut down the Keystone Pipeline. Gas prices are reaching about almost $3 a gallon. And we're going to piss off Saudi Arabia. Okay, cool. Maybe it's a good time to invest in alternative modes of transportation. Put some money in the bicycle market. Maybe skateboards. Scooters. I think scooters. Electric scooters. That's going to be the next thing because you're not going to be able to afford gas. Sooner than later. I don't know. I've seen things $3-4 a gallon by the summer. We had it. It was all right, wasn't it? It was all right for a minute. $1 something a gallon. Those were the days. But yeah, it's been a great week. Great week of conversation with y'all. I'm so appreciative of everybody who's joined in, all those who have jumped on the Patreon. The link for our Patreon page, exclusive content. The guests before they're coming. That link is in the comments of all of the platforms right now, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. So if you want to join the Patreon, there's 3 different tiers you can join. Little access, more access, all access. So jump on board with that. And we got a big week coming up next week. I think we have now 9 confirmed guests on the program next week, including our return on Monday of Dr. Jay LaGuardia. He is back from his little trip to Arizona. We got out, got some of that fresh, dry, warm air, and is feeling good about life. So we'll talk to Dr. J. And country artist Jesse Allen is going to be on the show. Jesse Allen. Dude's got just an awesome voice. I found him on Instagram, and I was like, dude, you got to be on my show. He's like, dude, I'll be on your show. So he's going to be on the show coming up on Monday, starting at 5 p.m. Central Time on the Facebook, on the YouTube, and on the Twitch. So I appreciate you all for joining in, cutting the show short today. We got dinner plans, and we got a weekend ahead of us, and there's a full moon. And before things get crazy, we're going to bounce. So thank you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care of yourselves and take care of one another.